I'm Jim, and this is Jim's Fix-It Shop. The video tonight is an interview between me and Griffin White, the president of Woodland Power Products, the company that makes the Cyclone Rake. I hope you find it interesting and informative. And if you pay attention at the very beginning of the video, I was not ready for his phone call. I called him, and a few minutes later he called me back, and I had to quick scurry around and get everything turned on. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll talk to you soon. Hello?
Power Products. Is this Mr. Jackson?
Yes, it is.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Oh, not too bad.
I'm sorry that it's taken us so long to connect, but I'm glad we finally got the chance to chat.
Yeah.
I got your most recent video. I actually did show it to Joanne as well, the sales rep that you chatted to, and I also passed it along to our engineering team, who are going to just add it to their queue of always interesting things to look at to see if there's some development opportunities there. It was an interesting solution to a problem that we know a lot of people have.
I've got a few that got a hold of me after they found out I bought one and mentioned that problem. I said, well, I'll see what I can do to fix it.
Yeah, that's an interesting solution to it. It definitely seems to have worked.
And I had one viewer got back with me and said the way they're designed, when you take them off to use the machine, you could flip them upside down and screw the wing nuts back on.
Oh, yeah, so you don't have to, store them or hold them in some, so they don't get lost. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
How has the Cyclone Rake worked overall for you?
Wonderful.
That's wonderful. We love to hear that,
I just can't believe that it saved me so much time doing my leaves, especially at my father-in-law's place.
Yeah, doing two properties, I bet it was a struggle before the Cyclone Rake. I hope that it's much, much faster now.
Yeah, I think it took us about 2 weeks to do it last year.
Oh, yeah.
It was just me and the wife, and I did it this year myself in about 2.5 days.
Yep, that's amazing. That's what it's made for, is to save that time. So we love to hear that that's working for you, and we love that it solved the problem for you. That's great.
Yeah, it really, really helps.
Yeah.
Now, is this a family-owned business?
So I wouldn't call it a family-owned business. Having worked at some businesses in the past that were family-owned, I wouldn't call us that. But it's a small, it's a small ownership group, right? And they've owned it from the beginning, but it's not directly just one single family or anything like that. Our founder, Jim Whitney, is no longer part of the organization or one of our owners, but the ownership group that does still own the company has owned it, has been a part of ownership from its inception, and has no plan to change that in any future. And so it's definitely been not a family run in the way that it's all one last name, but definitely a small group of people that have been with it from the beginning and worked to make this a success the whole time. Absolutely.
How long have you been in business?
1997 is the first year that the Cyclone Rake was officially around. So we've been around for about 27 years. It was about 2 years of development from our founder, Jim Whitney, who we joke often that he just really hated leaves, right? He hated having to clean up the leaves on his yard and saw an opportunity to create something. And Jim is still around. He's just not a part of the organization right now because he's well into retirement now. He is an engineer by trade and genuinely one of the smartest people that I've ever met in my life with multiple degrees, a PhD. He's ridiculously intelligent. And so this was actually his second career. He had an entire life as a working engineer before that, and then was able to retire, and this was his entire retirement project. and so really flew from there. Yeah.
Now, is that the only thing you make, is the Cyclone Rakes?
So we make the Cyclone Rake, and then we make some other outdoor equipment as well. One of them that's been around for a couple of years we call the Cyclone Nut Rake. And so that is a product that is doesn't have an engine, isn't powered, but it is a walk-behind unit that rolls along your yard as you walk behind it, similar in size to about a push mower. And as you walk forward, these tines will pick up nuts, acorns, walnuts, buckeyes, all the way up into, we have people that use it for golf balls even. And it will dump them into a bucket, into a bin that comes with the Cyclone Nut Rake as you are walking along so that you can easily dump them. And they're great for what exactly they're designed for. People that have a bunch of acorn trees on their property. Acorns, as I'm sure you know, are sometimes a pain to be able to get up. They're a pain to rake. They're a pain to leaf blow. And it's sometimes helpful to get them up. And so it's a great tool and resource for the people that need them. And then inside of the Cyclone Rake line, there is an additional product that we call our SPS10, our small property solution. And that's a pretty new product for us. It's only been around for about maybe a year and a half, 2 years. And so that has all of the similar design features and engineering as the Cyclone Rake, similar to what you have, but in a much smaller capacity to be able to be used on small properties and without a tractor, effectively, without being towed behind. And it has one really positive benefit there, which is that it also can be used as a leaf blower. And so for me specifically, my property is pretty small, and so I actually use an SPS10 most often on my property. And it's super helpful to be able to use it as a leaf blower as well, to be able to get the leaves out of tight places where I can't get all of my equipment out into those like corners around my fences and stuff. It's great. It's wonderful. And so those are our primary like three lines. We have a couple other things that one last thing that's a much, much smaller thing for us that we haven't designed, but we know the designers and the manufacturers really well. And that's called the Earth Box. And it's a home gardening and planting system. It's really slick and really helpful. And I know lots of people that use it on like back decks and back patios to be able to garden in a much more small way. And again, that's not a product that we specifically have designed, but we know the designers and the manufacturers on a personal level. And so we stand behind it just as well. And it's a great option for people that don't have a huge amount of property to be able to start a garden on their own.
Now, can you see these products online on your website?
Absolutely, yeah. So they're all available through CycloneRake.com, and all of them are able to be talked to our team about as well. Everybody that you've talked to, the team that Joanne is on, our customer service team, they have all the details and resources to talk about these around what the prices are and what opportunities exist with each of them. Yeah.
Huh. Now, your warranty, that is something that is unheard of in any company that I've ever dealt with.
Yeah.
I'm a machine repairman and maintenance guy at a tool and die shop, and I deal with a lot of companies, and I've never heard of a 1 year return if you're not happy with it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely something that is unique to us, but it is also we stand behind the product. And it is available to everybody. We don't blow any smoke when we say that there are really no strings attached. The highest hurdle that somebody needs to cover is just to be able to box the pieces up to be able to send us back to us. And we don't worry about it being damaged in transit. That's between us and the carrier, not necessarily between the carrier and the person who's sending it back to us. And we truly stand behind our products. We say it in all of our marketing materials, and a lot of times this is the thing that people have a lot of the most questions around. There's not a lot of tools like the Cyclone Rake out in the world. And so part of it is we want people to be able to try it and make sure that it is the tool that works for them. If it doesn't work for them, It's not necessarily their fault. We don't think that they did anything incorrect. We think our tool is very specific and well designed. We know it's going to last, and we know it's going to work for the vast majority of people. And if people find that it's not the right fit for them, we understand. It's the right fit for lots and lots of people, as you've experienced, right? But if for some reason it's not what somebody envisioned, we don't want to hold them up from finding the tool that they think is going to work best for them.
Now, I also understand you pay return shipping on this product?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. So it's truly no strings attached. If we joke about people canceling memberships with your gym or with a cable company and how many hoops you have to jump through to be able to make that happen. For us, you call us, you know exactly who you're speaking to, and we start the process right then and there. If it's not working for you, there's no strings attached. We'll be able to refund people their entire cost of it. There's always a little bit of research we have to do around the taxes that were paid. Whenever somebody purchases something, the taxes don't go into our pocket. They go into the local state and municipalities that the taxes were paid to. So each district is a little different. So sometimes those taxes aren't able to be returned depending on the time frame because they've already been paid to a municipality. But other than that, the remaining funds will go back to the customer that's going to be returning the Cyclone Rake. We have some questions and some things that we ask people to do when they're sending them back to us. There are some size requirements that FedEx has maximum size numbers that things can't get beyond. But other than that, once those are packaged in any way that they can be packaged by the person, we'll accept them back. No strings attached. We'll make sure it all goes smoothly from there.
Now, I know my boss at the shop bought one, and for some reason, whatever he was trying to do with it, it just didn't work for him. And of course, when he unboxed it, put it all together, he threw all the boxes away.
Yep, yeah.
So I had to scurry around and try to come up with or make boxes to send this thing back. So when I bought mine, I saved all my boxes.
Yeah.
So this summer, I'll be able to get rid of those because I have no plans on sending this thing back.
Yeah. The getting boxes to return the Cyclone Rake is sometimes a little hard. We don't mind whatever the quality of the boxes are, right? So as you've experienced, our packaging material, as we send it to you, we go out of our way to make sure that as little damage can possibly happen on its way to you. Sometimes there are still some things that happen inside of our shipping partners that can create some damage. Something we may joke that something might fall off a truck or something along those lines. And that's again between us and the carrier. We'll make sure that every damage is replaced and that your machine is in tip-top condition the first time that you use it. If somebody finds themselves returning it, they don't need to find the same quality of box or packing material that we send out. We like to make sure that our packing material is above and beyond, but if somebody can get any box to be able to fit things in, that's absolutely okay with us. It doesn't even have to be the same number of boxes that we sent to you. If they need to send it in more boxes, we'll be okay with that. If they can find a way to send it in fewer boxes, we're okay with that. If they have to tape two boxes together, as you've experienced, some of the parts can be a little large. If they have to tape two boxes together, that's all totally fine with us. We don't have too much of a problem with that either. Yeah. Once it's in the hands of FedEx, is typically our return partner on it. So once it's in the hands of FedEx, the consumer, the customer is all good, and it's between us and FedEx now, anything that happens from that point forward. So we're usually pretty good about it, and it usually happens pretty smoothly for anybody that needs to return. And we offer that 1-year risk-free trial to make sure that it fits the customer's needs, it meets all of their expectations, and we stand behind the product. We wouldn't be doing it if we were having most of our units returned. That's absolutely not what's happening. There's usually some specific circumstance or specific layout or specific tractor that is not a perfect fit and leading to that ending up being returned to us.
Yeah, I think I ended up with 13 boxes on my order, and all but one of them was damaged in some way.
Oh, man, yeah.
But none of the product was.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't have any issue with anything in the box.
We love to hear that. Yeah, I'm sorry that they were damaged in transit to you. That's always a bummer to hear, because we try to make sure that things arrive in perfect condition. But in those moments where we can't maintain what the delivery driver is maybe doing with the box or how they're storing it, we go above and beyond in those packaging materials and making sure that it's not scratched, it's not dented, it's not broken, it's not damaged to the person. We pay very close attention to any reports we get back of damage, to be able to adjust our packaging and make sure it goes smoothly from there.
And I also picked up the power unloader, which that's awesome.
Yes, yeah. And so you have the power unloader that, so we have two things that are similarly named. We have the power unloader, and then we have the power lifter unloader. One of them helps you dump the collector bag, and one of them helps you move the leaf debris into a specific location. So which one are you referencing here?
I've got the one that you hook to the blower and it blows it out in the woods.
Yeah. Yep, that's perfect. Yeah, for people that have those types of setups on their property to be able to do that, it's a perfect tool to be able to get it even farther into your woods, be able to get it even shredded a second time by your impeller, so it composts nice and well out in those woods as well. That's great. We love to hear that.
And when I first set this thing up, it comes with 15 foot of hose, which I thought was a little short, until I seen the way that blows out of the end of that hose.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I would say it probably flies out of there about another 20 feet.
Yeah, that's great. And you have our XL or Z10 unit?
I got the XL.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that 8 horsepower definitely is absolutely powerful enough to be able to move that material that far. Yeah, that's great. We love to hear that. That's wonderful.
Now, I read somewhere that these things are completely made in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you manufacture all the parts and do all the work to the parts?
So we do all of the final assembly for all of the materials in our house in West Haven, Connecticut. Right, in our warehouse. So we've been in West Haven, Connecticut from the beginning, in the same building that Jim Whitney first rented space in when he founded the company in 1997. We're still in that location. Yes, so our team there definitely assembles the vast majority of what you are interacting with. Some pieces are maybe made by a third-party vendor that we work with, but outside of that, everything is being shipped from us. It's all being final and inspected and touched by our team in West Haven, Connecticut.
Now, your third-party vendor, is that in the U.S.?
So there is some of our metals that are made in overseas, but the vast majority of everything else is domestic, right? So we partner with Briggs & Stratton for our engines. They're an American engine manufacturer. All of our plastic that you feel, the hoses on the Cyclone Rake, all of that is absolutely domestic. Some of the other pieces may start their production overseas, or some of them might be assembled overseas. But genuinely, the vast majority of what you're touching has been touched by our team in-house in West Haven, Connecticut. Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear.
Absolutely, yeah. We love partnering with American vendors. We love the interactions that we have with them, and we actually aim for some of our vendors to be similar size to us. We are a small company. There are plenty of other small companies out there that need the business. One of our plastics manufacturers is located in rural Pennsylvania, and we love that they're domestic, that they are answer our phone calls, that we know things about their personal lives. All of this is very much a relationship. We try not to do anything other than relationships like you that we have with our customers, and relationships that we have with our vendors as well.
What would you say is the percentage of machines that are returned?
I don't have a concrete number off the top of my head, and sometimes we try to keep some of that a little bit in-house, but it is very, very low. There have been moments where people have asked us some questions like that, and I bet it's even lower than what you're envisioning. The vast majority of cyclone rakes that go out into the world are still out in the world, still with our customers, and we know many of them that have been handed down multiple generations. We have many of them that have been transferred with home ownership, as well as some retirees have potentially downsized. They've passed the cyclone rake along to the younger homeowners who have taken over that property, and we'll get phone calls from them maintaining their cyclone rakes as well. And so that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on with the aftermarket support of parts for your cyclone rake. There's really no reason for anybody to have bought a second cyclone rake other than that they really want to. If something is damaged or ends up needing to be replaced, you can replace just that piece on the cyclone rake, and it will still be out there working for you, which is great.
Yes. I haven't had any trouble with mine yet, nor any problems with getting parts from you.
Yeah. We love to hear that. Yeah, your cyclone rakes in our XLs and Z10s, we have those 3-year bumper-to-bumper warranties. So you absolutely will not have any issues from us for any of the, if anything's covered under warranty, there will be no hiccups. You'll give us a call. We'll figure it out right away and get the parts out to you. There are a couple wear points on your cyclone rake, as you can expect, right? There are some, the liner inside of your blower at some point in the future will need to be replaced, and we can replace that whole blower housing when that happens. But typically, depending on people's uses and depending on their soil and the debris that they're picking up, we have people that have had their units for 20, 25 years and have never had to replace it. And we have people with very sandy, debris-heavy situations who've had to replace theirs every couple of years, depending on how frequently they're using it. And again, sometimes that's even into some of the commercial users who are running their machines for hours a day, every day, for years. And so theirs will wear out a little bit quicker. But we still have those parts in stock. We'll still be able to figure it out pretty quickly of how best to be able to replace those pieces for you and get your machine back up and running as quickly as possible.
Now, that's something you can send to the customer and we can put it in ourselves?
Absolutely, yeah. All the replacement parts that we send out to customers, most of them come with instruction sheets. Some of the smaller pieces, if you're just buying a nut or a bolt from us, those typically won't come with instructions. But when you're replacing all the way up to replacing an engine on your machine, it will come with a detailed instruction and hardware kit, including some assembly videos if you want to link to some of those, to be able to repair it on your own time, with simple hand tools to be able to be back up and running as quickly as possible. Absolutely.
Now, the engine on my machine is warranted for 3 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as we partnered with Briggs & Stratton, your engine, all of the Vanguard line of engines, so we carry 2 different lines of engines. We have our XR line that is the base engine on our smaller units than what you have, our Classic, Commander, and Commercial Pro. All of those start with our XR lines, and they're able to be upgraded into what Briggs & Stratton calls their Vanguard line, which is their commercial-grade single-cylinder engines. And so yours, our XL, comes included with a Vanguard engine, and that has a Briggs & Stratton 3-year warranty. And so what that means is that you are able to take it to any certified Briggs & Stratton dealer. They have a huge network across the country. You're able to bring it to them. They'll be able to scan a barcode on the side of your engine and know everything they need to know about when your engine was manufactured, any warranty claims that are available for that engine, anything like that, to be able to keep it up and running. That warranty doesn't cover anything like a gumped up carburetor or anything along those lines. But if there is a manufacturing defect or anything that is outside of normal use territory, it will absolutely be covered under the warranty for 3 years for the Vanguard line. The XR line, that more consumer grade line, still comes with a warranty, but that's going to be the 2-year warranty on that XR line.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would have guessed only 1 year on that one, but
yeah, no, still 2 years. We, like we said, we stand behind those machines. We know that they're going to work. We know that they're going to last, and we have plenty of people who have had their Cyclone Rakes for years and haven't had to have any contact with us around a replacement part, around a warranty, or anything like that. That's the norm. Most people will buy a Cyclone Rake and won't talk to us for a couple of years, and then we'll have something very small, like one of our latches or a nut or a bolt or something along those lines that will need to be replaced. They'll give us a call, and we'll get that order out. And all of our stuff right now is shipping in about 1 to 2 business days. We work really hard to be able to maintain that throughout the year for everybody to be able to have their machine up and running as quickly as possible whenever you need any of those aftermarket parts, or even when you're buying a brand new Cyclone Rake, because I'm sure you experienced, they ship very quickly from our warehouse, and then it's transit time from our warehouse in Connecticut to just wherever somebody is throughout the country.
yeah, I had a viewer get a hold of me and tell me that I believe he said he had the Commander.
Mm-hmm.
He said his wife bought it for him for a present 22 years ago.
Yeah,
and the
amazing.
only thing he had to do to it was clean the carburetor. It was gummed up from our fuel.
Yeah. And as fuel has changed over the last 25 years, as I'm sure you've experienced out in the world, fuel has changed. 20 years ago, we weren't recommending anything other than the traditional just drain the gas at the end of the season when you're putting it away over winter. And now, very much, we recommend fuel stabilizer for everything. If you can use fuel stabilizer year-round, we recommend it, because we've definitely heard more and more customers talk to us about how fuel has changed, how they've had to change how they treat their carburetors. But you're entirely right. Depending on everybody's use is a little different. Everybody's property is a little different. We have plenty of people who have gone well into 2 decades without having any hiccups with their machine other than just regular maintenance. If you're changing the oil, you're taking care of that carburetor, and you're taking care of the machine, it will absolutely last you decades and be a great used tool to be able to save time, as you've experienced. Yeah.
Yep, most of my small engine repair work is cleaning carburetors.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's a whole job for many people out in the world. We have some relationships with some small engine repair operations near us in Connecticut, and it's the vast majority of the calls that one of them gets. He's more of a mobile small engine repair guy, so he'll head to everybody's houses, and he has carburetor rebuild kits all ready in his truck for any call that he goes out to, because it's the biggest thing that people are able to. I mean, I'm guilty of it as well, as a person who spends a lot of time talking about small engines. 100%. I don't take too good a care of my carburetors, and I wish I took better care of them.
Well, the ethanol fuel is the biggest problem.
Yep, absolutely. It'll just degrade everything from there. Yeah.
I don't run it in any of my small engines.
Yeah. Yep. That makes a lot of sense. If a lot of people are able to, if you're able to do it and have access to it, it will work perfectly. Yeah.
I would, if I could, I would love to come and do a video or a tour on your company.
We would love that, yeah. If you're able to come out to Connecticut, we would love to have you walk around. We would, some of the stuff would be a little bit behind the scenes that we keep just as some proprietary information, but we would love for you to come meet the operation and meet the people that all live, breathe, and work Cyclone Rake year-round. This is our business. The people that you're talking to are local in Connecticut. They're the ones who have spent times with the machine. We're proud of the people that have worked for us. We joke often around how long people end up working at Woodland. Our head of accounting, I joke that he was the 3rd person hired by our organization, and he regularly reminds me that I think he was actually number 6 or number 7 or something along those lines. But we have plenty of people who have worked for us for 15 plus years, who have touched every Cyclone Rake that has gone out in that time. And it's always interesting to think of the impact that some of these people have had out in the world, how much time they've saved for our customers, how much our customers appreciate the effort that they've put in that entire time to make sure that every Cyclone Rake has gone out well. If you're ever in Connecticut, we would love for you to drop by.
I would really like to do a video of it and put it on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, again, like we would be, for what we feel comfortable showing out in the world, we definitely would be able to do that.
I understand that.
Yeah, but other than that, that would be the only thing. Yeah, other than that, we would love for you to come out.
Right now we have some health issues in the family, and the wife is basically staying there with her mother, and it would probably be a while before I can get out there.
Yeah, I understand that. I hope everybody feels better soon, and I hope those health issues come up for all of us, and I totally understand family first. So we're here. We're not going anywhere, right? We've been here for over 25 years. There's nothing stopping us from being here for the next 50. And so that's our goal, is to be here in Connecticut, making the best dang leaf and lawn vacuum out in the world and helping people. We take a lot of pride in saving people time. We take a lot of pride in our product. We take a lot of pride in our customer service and maintaining these relationships, because you're not going to buy another leaf and lawn vacuum. You're going to be with us the whole time, and we want to make sure that it's a positive experience for you.
Now, I would like to share this interview on my channel, if that's possible.
Yeah. So have you, I assume that you've just been taking some notes. If there's anything that you want me to clarify in writing, I can absolutely do that too.
No, I would think just the verbal interview would be fine for right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any real issue with it. If there's a chance that you can send it to me a little bit ahead of time before posting it, just if there's anything that I feel could be clarified a little bit more, I would love the opportunity to do that. I'm not trying to take away any creative license or take away anything that is your channel or what you want to explain to your viewers. We just want to make sure that we're making stuff as clear as possible.
No, that's no problem. I can do that.
Yeah, that would be wonderful if that's an opportunity. But I'm very much open to that. I'm happy to hear that there are people interacting and appreciating your videos out there. We love honest reviews. We love honest feedback that people are putting out into the world around our product. Because again, it's not something that everybody has experienced or is able to see firsthand. And so we love that there are people out there posting these videos of how their experience is, and being able for everybody else to be able to make educated decisions around what's going to make the most sense for them as they're looking for one of these tools.
I've watched a lot of videos on a lot of different brands of these, and I decided on yours primarily because the way it hooks to the machine.
Yes, yeah.
I have a Ingersoll garden tractor with a blower-assisted bagger attachment. The blower's not as big as the one on the Cyclone Rake.
Okay.
But even with that, at my father-in-law's place, the leaves get so deep, you can go about 25 feet and you have to stop and unplug, not the blower or the tube coming up to the blower, but the actual hopper itself. They get packed in there and they don't fall down into bags.
Yes.
So it's a lot of work. And this thing, I purposely let all the leaves come down and did my yard first. Then I went over there and did his, and the leaves were probably in some spots 6 to 8 inches deep.
Wow, yeah.
And some points it was easier to raise the deck a little bit than to just plow the leaves. But I had no problems with this ever plugging up.
Yeah, it's one of the it's the single biggest design feature of the Cyclone Rake, right? That dual pin hitch it solves a lot of those types of problems, right? It allows the hose from your mower deck to be as streamlined as possible, and it allows the airflow to operate as effectively and as smoothly as possible to decrease those jams from the mower deck into the blower and from the blower into the collector as well, to just make sure that it operates as smoothly as possible. And I think your example is what a lot of people end up seeing out in the world as well. We all have lives. And we don't control the weather. And so when your leaves fall isn't always up to you. It would be great if they only fell on the weekends, right? So we would all have time to be able to pick them up.
And when they don't get rained on.
Exactly, yeah. And so with wet leaves and not always being able to control how many leaves are on the ground, the smoothest that you can make that operation of the debris and the air into the collector, the smoother it will all go for people and allow you to pick up more leaves all at once, be able to pick them up faster on your tractor, and be able to decrease those jams that potentially could happen in a different design.
Even with the wet leaves, there was a few times where it rained and I had to go out the next day. I had no trouble sucking them up and blowing them in the collector. It's just, it's an amazing machine.
We love to hear that. Yeah, I do think that obviously with your two properties that you're taking care of is a huge amount of undertaking. But that thickness of leaves that you're seeing is what most of the best use case scenarios we hear from customers out in the world. They just all of a sudden your leaves are all going to fall at once at an inopportune time, and you want to be able to get them up all at once instead of taking the 2 weeks that you referenced being able to do the two properties. Being able to do it in 2 days is way, way better.
Yeah, the first year we did it, I blew them into windrows, and then I raked them onto a big tarp and dragged them out in the woods.
Yeah.
Well, 1 year that was enough.
Yes, that sounds, just even saying that sounds exhausting to me. That's physically, the effort to be able to drag tarps of leaves is always so backbreaking labor. It's if it's all that can be done, I totally understand it, but we definitely like that this tool can help everybody in that too.
And that was the biggest deciding factor of this purchase was the year before last, dragging tarps, and then you still had a bunch of them that were blowing around. You still had to go out with a lawnmower and suck them up. But this thing really does do the job.
We love to hear that. I'm glad that I genuinely am always happy to have these conversations with our customers, right? Where it has saved them time, it saves them energy, and that it has changed how they're able to continue to manage their property. It's the thing that we take pride in the most. We're always happy to hear these types of feedback because it just continues to drive us in how we continue to develop the product, how we continue to maintain it, and how we continue to talk to people about it. Word of mouth is huge for us. As a small company, it allows us to have a bigger reach as somebody will see your video or talk to you in town about your Cyclone Rake. We love that this word of mouth is out there as honest reviews, right? We don't like anybody sugarcoating it. I'm sure that there is something that can always be better about any tool out in the world. And so we love even your feedback around the caster wheel changes there. I think that's something interesting that we're definitely going to talk about internally.
Well, I did add an hour meter to mine.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I usually put them on a lot of my bigger tools just to keep track of maintenance issues.
Yeah.
And I did do another small upgrade to the blower unit that when I get it back out this spring, I'll be doing a video on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what was that?
I'd rather not say right now.
Okay, all right. If you have some pictures you want to share, feel free to send them over. We'd be interested to see them.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the way I use it, and once the thing gets full, I have to travel quite a ways to dump them, and it just helps me with keeps me from getting off and on of the tractor as much.
Yeah.
The in-laws property is a little bigger than 2 football fields.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's got a lot, and there's a lot of oak trees. So it really, really helps me over there. My yard
that
is
makes
not
sense.
that big, but I still use it here. Because I can just about do my entire yard with 2 hopperfuls.
Yeah.
But over there, I was going to keep track, but I just totally forgot. It fills up so fast. I originally designed a bracket for the Ingersolls because I have a garden tractor and the father-in-law has the same tractor. And I can exchange the bracket I made on the back of the machine on what they call a sleeve hitch that the rotor tiller hooks onto. And then I can just either use his or mine. But last year I got his out and the carburetor is bad and fuel pump's messed up. So I ended up using his zero turn, which has a 54-inch mower deck on it. And this thing still handled all the leaves coming out of that mower deck.
Yeah.
I don't know, mine has a 48-inch deck, and so does his, the garden tractors. But I was a little afraid that that deck may be putting out too much for it to handle, but it sucked them up as fast as I could pick them up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have, I think, the largest commercially available deck that I know multiple people have hooked up to is probably about 78, maybe even 76 inches. I'm sorry, 72 to 76 inches, somewhere in there. Once you get above that, I mean, as you can imagine, the size of the tractor that you're to mow grass or to be able to use on your property starts getting into some specialty equipment, almost into groundskeeping equipment.
Oh, yeah.
And so for us, we have plenty of people, 60-inch decks, 70-inch decks, 72, 76, all the way up. Once you get above that, you're starting to get out of the traditional homeowner territory. But we have plenty of people with much larger decks even than what you were referenced with our XL and Z10. We typically will recommend one or the other of those units for that size of tractor.
Well, I guess that answers the questions I had.
Yeah. I'm so glad that we got a chance to chat. And I genuinely, I would love to see what you have for your blower to be able to make it more efficient for you. We're always interested to see those things, right? Like no harm, no foul. There's no, if you're not ready to share it, totally fine. But if you're willing to share it, feel free to send it on over to my email. And we'd love to see what's worked for you. Just as always gets our creative juices flowing.
I just didn't want to mess up my warranty.
Yeah. No, I mean, at this, as long as it, I personally, I'm not going to be worrying about that for you, right? This is not, that's not the type of organization that we run either. And so I wouldn't, I'm not stressed about it for you. And I think at this point, you and I have interacted a couple times now. And so even if there is something outside of the norm, I totally understand why, and we wouldn't hold it against you in any way.
Well, I hope you can manufacture and sell some of those wheel kits.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna think about it. It's definitely something that's on our R&D list. Our team is always going through different possible options for changes or redesigns, and so it's something that definitely is on their creative list. And if it's something that we want to take more seriously, we'll definitely be reaching out to you and asking you some questions around work for you, how does it work, things like that. We would love to just get some feedback on.
Okay, you got my blessing. If it's something that you think you can make a couple of bucks on, hey, go for it.
Well, we appreciate that, but we'll definitely chat in a more formal way around it if anything like that comes up. We definitely don't want to. We definitely want to give credit where credit's due. How about that? And so, if it is something that we do take to a next step, 100% you'll be interacting with our head of engineering and chatting with him about it.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the simplest way I could come up with. It would be nice if there was some kind of a catch that just was on there and you could just unlatch it and you wouldn't even have to take wing nuts off. But that was the first idea I came up with, and it seemed to work, so I went with it.
Yeah, as like you referenced, you're in machinery as well. The simplest design is often the best, right? And so it's definitely. I mean, I think you came up with an elegant, simple solution that solves the problem, and it definitely is something that's interesting. So we'll definitely be looking at it over this year, and if we do move it on to any other next steps, we'll definitely make sure that our head of engineering reaches out to you.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jim, for chatting with me. I'm excited to see what you're going to be, how this is going to turn out for your channel, and I'm happy that people have been on your channel, have been receptive to it as well, to our product and your back around it. We love to hear it.
Well, okay. Well, if I come up with any other brainstorms, I'll let you know. Did I lose you?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yes, I dropped out for a second. I'm sorry about that. Say it again.
I said if I come up with any more brainstorms, I'll let you know.
Okay, yeah, we would love to hear that. You have my email, and this is actually my direct cell phone number. So feel free to save it and give me a ring whenever.
Okay, sounds good, Griffin.
All right, thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, you heard it right from the horse's mouth. And hopefully when I get this thing back out this spring and I get it hooked back up to my machine, I'll show you the upgrade that I made for the engine and blower assembly. I think it's going to work out good for me. If not, I can always take it off. So until next time, work safe, have fun, and I'll talk to you soon. So long.